Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Patriots Report. My name is Christopher Price, the Boston Globe and bostonglobe.com, joined as always by my podcast partner, fresh off vacation, Chris Hogan. Chris, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Back to
How was
reality.
vacation? Was all good?
Vacation was fantastic. Like we were talking before, Sardinia, Italy, 10 out of 10. Highly recommend.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Well, I have a question for you before we start off here. I spent almost a week in Minnesota and for the joint practices, which were fantastic. But I am ready to now sit here on Wednesday, August 20th, 2025, and say that the NFC North is the nicest division in football, the most polite division in football. The Vikings, the people in Minnesota, we went to Green Bay a couple of years ago, the Bears, Detroit. Look, it's not perfect, but there are enough people there who, if something screws up, they're willing to be very, very helpful. So I'm curious to get your thoughts on, in all the years that you played, the nicest division in football. Or maybe even just the nicest franchise in football.
God, I mean, well, listen, I'll say this. Buffalo always has a special place in my heart because they gave me my first opportunity. And to be honest with you, that entire franchise, the Pagulas are top notch. I mean, they are first class all the way. They really, when they came in and bought that team, they wanted to do everything they could to get Buffalo back. Bring a good team to Buffalo, redoing the locker rooms. Making sure that the guys had everything. And not that it wasn't like that before, but there's always a little bit more that. I mean, and listen, you see the grades now on everything. So it's out there. Everyone's being exposed. So Buffalo was really good. I mean, obviously in New England, I can't say enough about the organization as a whole. I don't need to talk about the football team because we talk about that enough. But the organization, from assistants to people that are in the front office, I've walked around that top floor a number of times, and everyone is just so polite and so nice and just so willing to help you with whatever you need, just because they get it, right? They understand. It's like this was my job, this is your job, but my job is to help, try to win football games. And all those people, regardless of, I don't care if it was someone in the mailroom, if you needed help getting tickets, like, they were going to help you. They were going to put the pieces together. So that was also a really great organization. I've been around a few others, and I think what is special about some of the other places that it brings that like family atmosphere together, and it's very tight knit, right? Everyone's very close. It's not cliquey, or everyone just is kind of separate doing their roles. It's not like that at all. It's kind of like all for one for all type situation, and those are the best teams to be around.
I can see Buffalo checking all those boxes, man. I really can. My experiences in Buffalo have always been great, with the fans to the PR people to the everything. It's just it's always been a great experience. And on another note, I'm incredibly excited to go up there and see, the final season of whatever the New Era Field or Aramark or whatever they're calling it these days. It's such a great old building.
It's awesome. It's got a lot of history, man.
It really does.
It's got a lot of good players that played in that stadium.
Yeah. And just I don't know. We saw the basic skeleton of the building last year kind of going up, the new place, and it looks absolutely amazing. But I do have a soft spot for the old building, and it's going to be fun to see one last game there. That being said, let's get into it. How do you feel as a Patriots guy heading into the final preseason game? I think there's some good, some bad. I like the way the defense is playing. I like the way some guys on offense are playing. However, I still have some questions about the state of this offensive line, and I'm curious to get your take on where things are here as we near the 2025 regular season.
Yeah, so I haven't been able to see any of the games live. I wasn't able to get them in Sardinia, where there was no but listen, I'll say this: it's a preseason. And I think that we've seen Drake's been out there for a series, or maybe what was it? Maybe two
A
series.
couple series on each. The first two games he's been out there.
So it's hard. It's really hard to kind of pinpoint what's going on and who looks good and as from an offensive line perspective, you're really not getting I think a good picture of what they're really who's gonna be out there, what they're gonna look like. Two series is not enough to get into a game flow. They're not really doing. This is not like you scrimmage against the Vikings and the Commanders, but did you really do a full scouting report on them? Did you really watch film on them? Like, no, not really. So, and this is more of Josh is not going there. He's not preparing for the Commanders or the Vikings. He was, hey, we're going to run our stuff. Like, I need to see what looks good here. I want to see some guys and doing X, Y, and Z. And then Mike's going to be the same way. So I can't really put a whole lot of water into what guys look like from an offensive line perspective. I think that skill positions, those are much easier to kind of evaluate because they're out there. It's one-on-one, right? Or, you can evaluate the run blocking. You can evaluate their gameplay speed, catching ability, up until now, it's been practice, right? How's he doing? How's he taking hits? Is he just going down? Can he run after? Is he got the run after catch ability? So there's a lot. And I think that the preseason for me, that's, I look forward to, I think it's easier to evaluate some of those skill positions. So, listen, who knows? I mean, there's going to be some probably decisions that come up here that might surprise some people, and there might be some decisions that don't really surprise some people. But I think that it's really just a case of we're building right to the first game of the season, and then we're really that's when we can come on here on Monday after the first game, be like, okay, this is what these are the let's put it like this. This is what looked great on Sunday afternoon.
Exactly. I wonder when it comes to evaluating guys and when it comes to coaches evaluating guys, how important is it to remember that you try and keep it as vanilla as possible when it comes to the preseason, schematically, when it comes to, game planning, Josh is not going to go deep into his bag, for the second preseason game against Minnesota. We've seen a few wrinkles here and there, but I think it's important for people to remember, specific to the skill position guys, that there's not a lot of variety. There's not a lot of, exotic looks or anything. It's just about getting stuff down.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the opportunities that you're getting for a skill position are in practice. Those are the most important things that you're really that you're going to have that have like real value and are really being evaluated. But that being said, once you get in the preseason, you get one opportunity, two opportunities, maybe you get a third opportunity for the ball to come your way. Like, those are being scrutinized 10x, right? Okay, kid had one opportunity in a game. What did he do? Right? We threw him one ball. How did he do? What was his route? I mean, so like that, all of those things, especially those lower level, the guys that are bottom of the depth chart that are fighting for a roster spot, that has to be like, listen, man, their life is on the line on that one or two opportunities. And that's how you have to approach it, man. I mean, like, if you dog it on a route or a backside of a route, or you're not blocking, or you're not going downfield trying to get the extra thing or try to make the extra yard, I mean, you might as well just sign your plane ticket now and just see, hopefully another team will pick you up, because that's not what they're looking for. They want to see a guy that wants to fight for his position, that wants to fight for his job. And if you're going, if you're going to make a mistake, that was always told, very early on, if you're going to make a mistake, make it go full freaking speed, man. Like, if you're going to screw something up, screw it up hard and just screw it up fast and just do it the right. If you're going to block the wrong person, like, put them on their ass. Like, if you're going to run the wrong route, well, run the wrong route and just be wide the hell open because you ran such a good route. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the sort of stuff, yes. Is it accountability? And do you have to look at some of this stuff? Does he know what he's doing? Like, sure, but all of that's been evaluated for the last month, right? Maybe he ran, shit happens, right? He runs the wrong route. Okay, great. Does he know what he's doing? Yeah. Well, yeah, he doesn't have any mental errors in training camp. So, first preseason game or second preseason game, jitters, all that kind of stuff. Like, I can get past that. Like, some of these scouts need to, like, obviously need, loosen up their belt buckles a little bit, because most of them never even played freaking football before. So it's like, but that's another podcast and another story that we don't need to get into. But yeah, man. I mean, listen, this last preseason game, it is, what we're going to see. I doubt that we're going to see any of the starters. You're going to see all the guys that are going to be, or maybe they keep to the what they've been doing, right? I mean, they've been winning football games, which I love to see. That's important. I think that was important. We talked about it, before a couple weeks ago. I think this was important. So, but again, I would be interested to hear your take on what this team looks like right now, like just overall, because you've watched them.
Well, there's a couple of guys who've stood out to me. The guys who we think are blue chip guys have shown to be blue chip guys to this point in the summer. I don't think anyone is surprised that, Barmore is playing well. Milton Williams is playing well. These are guys who are expected to play well. These are guys who, again, Diggs, when he's gotten his opportunities. He hasn't played in a preseason game. I think he's looked really good. We haven't seen a lot of Christian Gonzalez, but he's in his brief cameo at the start of camp. There are a couple of guys who really, and someone asked me the other day, what's your most pleasant surprise with this team? And I'll start with two offensive rookies. First off, TreVeyon Henderson. And I want to look at some numbers here from FanDuel. First of all, he is 7th when it comes to offensive rookie of the year odds already. And he continues to climb the list. He is plus 2,000 now. He's behind guys like Ashton Genty, Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, but he's still part of the conversation. And then here's a second one for you. And I mentioned this more. I don't think he's going to hit these numbers, but this is, kind of the start of the conversation as to where we think his ceiling is. First of all, Curtis Martin has the Patriots rookie rushing record, 1,487 yards, 1995. Fantastic rookie year. I don't think he's going to hit this. I think he has a chance to get this next one, though. Jonas Gray. Remember Jonas Gray?
Yes, I do.
Jonas Gray, most rushing yards by a Patriots rookie in a game with 201 yards against the Colts, November 16th, 2014. I think he has a chance, given his explosiveness, I think he has a chance at that. The other two, Terry Glenn has the Patriots record for most catches by a rookie with 90. I don't think he's going to hit that. Most receptions by a Patriots running back in a single season, 87. James White, 2018. So I don't think he's going to hit that second one maybe this year, but maybe, again, that's a future conversation. This is a kid who, for all the world, has looked dynamite, has come in and has exceeded expectations. I expected him to be, kind of take the James White route and kind of sit his first year and kind of evaluate and grow and kind of, eventually blossom into this kid. This kid's ahead of schedule. And he is already doing things with the football that look like he's been in the league 5-6 years. And the other thing, too, that has been fantastic, at least for us, he acts like he's been in the league 5 or 6 years in the best possible way. He is steady. He is accountable. He is not thrown by a question. He's a pro's pro already at like 22. So from what you've seen about Henderson and that running back position, I don't think he's making Ramondre Stevenson, expendable, because you're going to need three backs. You're going to need Gibson. Gibson is also, we've sung his praises before as a good runner. You're going to need all three guys. You don't want to put too much on Henderson's plate right out of the gate. But this team, I'm here to say this right now in late August, this team is going to be able to run the football.
Yeah, I don't doubt that for a second. Yeah. I mean, I think for the records, I mean, listen, I know how Josh kind of, keeps that running back is like a constant rotation. So I think, I mean, listen, he might get hot and might be the guy that we want to stick with. And he could be, a guy that's going to be seeing 30, 40 snaps a game. And if he does, sure. A lot of those records, I mean, the guy listen, I've seen some of the film. He looks explosive and he's hard to bring down. And those are all things that Josh loves. I'm pretty sure that he can, split out, he can do some different things. He's not just going to be in the backfield, but I think that also bodes well to have him in the game more, because we really didn't see Gibson too much outside or in the slot. And, we know that, what's his name? Why am I? Ramondre, he's really a back, right? Like he's your, I don't want to call him LG, but like, he's like, he's back there.
He's your between the tackles guy.
Yeah. We're not splitting them out. So, yeah, I mean, I think that early on in the season, I think you're going to see, I would guess that you're going to see a mix of those three guys and probably favoring one or two of them. And then as the season goes on, Josh is going to put in there whoever is the most whoever he can trust to be in there. You have to also remember, like this kid, yes, it's the preseason. Blitz packages, you haven't seen it. Mm-hmm. We're not blitzing in the preseason. Maybe it's very basic.
Yeah, that's the next step for him because he's so good at that, or at least he demonstrated an ability to do that when he was in college. That's the next box that he needs to check to be able to become a real complete NFL back.
Right. So listen, week 1 comes out and he's doing everything that he needs to do, stepping up, picking up, all the blitz packages that he's going to be going through. And like, that's extensive, man. I've sat in those meetings with Josh. I mean, it's a lot. I mean, and Josh, I mean, he's going to cover every single thing and they're going to go back, years and years of whoever the defensive coordinator is going to be for that week. And he's gonna be like, hey, they did this on 3rd and short or this and 3rd and long. Like, he hasn't done it. He hasn't done it in 10 years, but it could happen, but we're going to cover it. So I think, like you said, that's probably the next thing is if he's going out there and you can trust him to pick up those blocks and, protect Drake's backside and make sure that there's no one coming free, then yeah, I mean, I could see this kid getting a lot of touches. And then, you're just going to have to mix it up. And I think that it'll be up to Ramondre and Gibson to make sure that they're just the supporting cast and they have to know your role, man. Right. And like, I don't need to get into this. I've seen all this stuff about Ramondre, lost 10 pounds, yada, yada, yada. Like, dude, you couldn't hold on to the football last year. So like, let's do that. Let's start there. But like everyone supporting cats, right? Like know your role. No sensitivities and what you're being asked to do. Go out there and just do it and do it well. And then you do that and you're going to get more touches and Josh is going to trust you more. And I mean, we've seen it for years with Josh and a lot of that came from Bill too. I mean, the more that you can do, the more that they trust you, the more you're going to be out there.
Yeah. Yeah. And if this kid can really continue on that upward ascent specific to pass blocking, I really think the sky's the limit for him. I've been pounding the table already saying, look, this kid has a great shot at being offensive rookie of the year. If he can continue to stack those days and continue to show an ability, not just in the run game, as we've seen in the first couple of games, but also in special teams where he had the 100-yard kick return in the opener in Washington.
That was sick. I watched that.
That was dynamite. And I will say this, we haven't talked since then. I don't know whether it was the Brady statue or Henderson's return or the great weather or the fact that, they got off to such a great start. It was just the energy in that building was so great. And it harkened back to something that you were saying before. This franchise needs metaphorical wins, not just W's in the preseason, but like metaphorical wins. And that night, I think, represented a victory for that franchise. And I think the kid played a large role in that. Another guy I want to ask you about that has impressed a lot of people here in the preseason is Efton Chism. And we talked about him over the summer, and he continues to trend in the right direction. He's caught everything that's been thrown his way, both in joint practices and in the preseason. One of the things that stands out to me, I have a couple of questions. First of all, I asked Mike Vrabel what has allowed him to have the success that he's had. And one of the things that he said was his play strength. What is
I saw that.
Break that down for me. The idea of play strength, the ability, and I imagine, and correct me if I'm wrong, some of it has to do with being a little bit undersized, but being really knowing how to use your body to your advantage, to be able to run over guys, to be able to get momentum. But from your perspective, as a guy who played the game, as a guy who played the position, what is play strength?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's you have weight room strength and then you have play strength. And I've seen some guys that have incredible weight room strength and incredible play strength. I've also seen some guys that they're strong, but then they come on the field and it's like they have this it's like hitting a rock, right? Or hitting a brick wall. It's like you just all of a sudden you feel like every single thing that they have. And I'm sure that comes as a receiver. It comes in your route running, right? Not getting stoned by, the first guy that touches you, being able to run through contact in press coverage, being able to hold your blocks and sustain blocks and be able to run downfield. And again, like not getting stoned when you're going down there to crack a safety, but run your feet and move. So I think it looks like to me, I've watched some film. I mean, kid runs hard. He's looks for all intent and purposes. He looks pretty smooth route runner for a rookie, but he's explosive in and out of his routes. He's doing all the things, like you said, he's doing all the right things. He's been probably one of the, if not the best receiver in this training camp. That being said, where does he fit into all this?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Hasn't taken much reps with Drake, or it didn't really take anything in the preseason. Obviously, you have your guys that are definitely going to be there. Is he the sixth guy? I don't know.
I'll say this. I'll say right now he is.
Yeah. I mean, are we keeping six? Right? Is he going to return? Does he do?
You might keep seven.
That would be. Yeah, I mean, that would be kind of crazy. That's unheard of.
Yeah, and then you keep one less tight. The theory would be is you would keep one less tight end. You would have Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper, and then 7 wide receivers. I think they're going to keep 6 right now. I think we're trending in that direction.
I think. Well, listen, I'll say this: the kid has done everything that he's had to do to make this team. You can't cut him. Someone's going to pick him up right away. So the front office, they're going to have to be smart about this and how they, whatever they decide to do. If they're like, hey, he doesn't fit in right now, but this is a guy that we can bring up right away and be successful, and we can trust him, and we know what he's going to be able to do for us. And because like you and I both know, at some point during the season, someone's going to go down, and we're going to need someone to step up. I mean, that's like the perfect fit for a guy like that to be able to continue. Listen, I mean, again, like it's a preseason, right? It's like I've been there before. Let's put it that way. I've been there before. I've done it. I've been in training camp where I've been the undrafted kid who no one knew who the hell I was. Everyone's writing stories about me, doing every single thing that I can. And guess what happened at the end of that season, or at the end of that training camp? I got cut. And as a surprise to me, as a surprise to everyone in the locker room that I passed, saying like, I can't believe this is happening. It is what it is. It's a freaking business. And if that's like the direction that the GM doesn't, whatever, there's a lot of unknowns and a lot of like, what the hell are you thinkings? But like, whatever. I think that for this kid, it's a little bit different. I think that he's gotten so many opportunities. I mean, the kid's been dynamite in the preseason, in the games, and all the opportunities he got. So I think that it's going to be interesting come, that day after Labor Day to see how they shake down the roster. I think there's going to be some moving parts in the skill position. Yeah. I think that there's just going to be some things that's like, hey, we're going to let you go, but then we're going to bring you right back. And then it's like, we're going to put you on the practice squad, but we're going to protect you. I think there's going to be some of that going on.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
I think we're looking at a situation right now where they're going to try and trade Kendrick Bourne. And I know, look, but I will say this, that positive energy, that relentless optimism, I think can be filled with Mac Hollins. That role can be the veteran, the veteran cheerleader that role can be filled by Mac Hollins. I think you're going to see Polk go to IR, short-term, long-term, whatever the case may be, because we haven't seen him since the preseason opener with the shoulder.
Honestly, man, I haven't even thought about those kids anymore. We haven't talked about them. We haven't seen them in the preseason. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I think Baker, you could probably get him through the practice squad at this point, and I think Chism makes the team, and I think they go with 6. And Booty makes the team.
Yeah.
So you have Chism, Booty, Pop, Diggs, Hollins, and Kyle Williams.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. That's great.
I think you can move forward to that group. And I think you have Baker on the practice squad. I think you have Polk on IR. And then, maybe you find a trade partner for Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, listen, Chism is a perfect sixth role candidate because that sixth guy is pretty much on the practice squad because he's probably not going to they're not going to suit six guys every single week. So he's going to be a perfect guy that's going to be able to be the number one receiver for every single team that they're playing against all week. So he's going to be able to develop super fast because he's going to have to go against Christian and all the other starting DBs and be that guy that is going to get just an insane amount of film. And then, midway through the season when, someone gets hurt or we have someone that's, a little bit banged up or we need to bring someone up just so we're going to go 5 wide this game and we're going to spread it out. We need some extra bodies. That's a guy, right? That's a guy that we're going to bring up. He can return. He's going to be able to do some things, see him on special teams. I mean, dude, the amount of development that I got that first year in Buffalo, getting to go against Stephon Gilmore and all these other guys. I mean, I can't put a value on it because it's so good. You get to go, you're going again. I used to pick out, right? It was that they didn't used to give us jerseys. You used to just go into the huddle and used to pick out who you wanted to be. So it's like, I knew exactly. It's like, all right, I'm DeAndre Hopkins. Like I'm done. I'm Julian Edelman because we're playing Buffalo, right? So I knew Jules was getting the rock. So I was like, I'm 11. Give me 11. White guy, give me the 11. I'm wearing it all day. I'm wearing it all week. So I used to be able to do that, go in there and pick the guys that I knew that were going to be able to get the rock because that's who they feed. It's like, that's something that's going to help him a lot. And then I think, later in the season, I think we'll see this kid and hopefully he's just going to continue to grow. Been very impressed. And I've listened to him talk too. Very, very intelligent kid, speaks very well, very humble. It seems like he's just trying to make a football team and he just seemingly loves football. So that's what you want.
What really stuck out to me in the locker room after the game in Minnesota was there was a crowd of us around him. And how dicey it can be on the road and people stepping on other people's shit in the locker room jockey for position and stuff. And there are times where it can get tough in the locker room if you're trying to talk to someone in this scrum and someone's trying to get dressed and all that. And, emotions can come out. When we were all talking to Efton Chism, a bunch of wide receivers came by, like Pop came by and was like, Efton for president. and Baker's like, you got to talk to that good feeling that was there with him. It feels like he's kind of the unofficial mascot of the wide receiver room. And they're all kind of pulling for him, even though there's a competition there. Yeah. And I thought that was, I don't want to say sweet, but I thought that was nice. And I thought there was a genuine feeling of optimism.
Here in respect, man.
Yeah, it's clear a lot of them like this kid. Yeah, it's a respect thing.
100%. Like you come in the preseason and beginning of training camp, and I'm not saying that no one respected him, but they also didn't know what he could do on the football field. All they saw was the white kid that could probably run fast and did well in the training room or in the weight room and on the field. But until you're out there going and running real routes against defensive backs and winning your one-on-one battles, and all of a sudden you're just like, oh, like, yeah, white guy can play. So so you gotta earn your respect. Shit, I've been there before, bro. I've been there where everyone's laughing at the white kid that runs his ass off every single play, and then all of a sudden, like, it's like, wait, hold on. This kid can play a little bit, right? So you gotta earn your stripes, and he certainly has gone out there and earned his stripes this training camp. So I love it, man. And I think honestly this year, if going over the last couple of years, this seems to be the best wide receiver locker room that we have. And I think there's large in part due to bringing Stephon and what he's been able to do for this team. Matt Collins, Pop is another year older. You still have Kendrick in there. I mean, it just seems like this group is going to be able to go out there and kind of play for each other and play together. And I think it'll be a good group this year. I do.
Certainly trending in that direction, at least through the summer, if Diggs can be what they think he's capable of being. I want to talk to you about, we have a week to go We're recording this on Wednesday, August 20th. We have a week to go before cuts. The final cuts come down. It's not, as it used to be in the past, it was like they would cut down from 1 to the second.
Yeah.
Now it's all down to 53. Everything is from 90 to 53 all at once.
Yeah.
You've been in that situation before. You got in the call on Labor Day weekend or something close to Labor Day weekend when the cuts came down. What is that like? And we've talked before about not getting in your feelings in the NFL. Were you in your feelings a little bit when this happened?
Yeah, man, it's hard, man. It always seems to be a cloudy, dark, gloomy day for whatever reason. It's the same thing with the Monday after week 17. You know, it's like the day where all the head coaches get cut. It just always seems to be this gloomy day. And yeah, I 100% in my feelings about, you know, getting cut. And you think about all the work that you put in for 6 months and all the training that you've been doing, and especially as a young kid that is his first time in the NFL. Like, you've dreamed of this, right? You've lived your whole life to get to this moment, to get to being in an NFL locker room and being, you know, in an NFL stadium and playing. And when that gets taken from you, it's definitely a tough pill to swallow. I think how you deal with it afterwards that's the true test of a football player. Of, do you really want to do this? Is this something that you still want to pursue? So I would expect all of these guys to be in their feelings a little bit when they lose their job and when they get cut and told them that, like, it's not a good fit. But the day after, or let's just say the second you walk out of that building and you kind of compose yourself, it says, okay, like, what's next? All right. What team am I going to next? You getting on the phone with your agent and saying, hey, what's going on? Sure, there are 31 other teams that have been watching the preseason. So maybe there's an opportunity there. Are you going right back? I got cut and yeah, sure. I kind of was like, oh, this sucks a little bit. But every single time, man, that I was in the car or on a plane or doing whatever the hell I did, was back in the weight room waiting for another opportunity, because I believed that I belonged on the field. There's no one that could tell me different. No one from day one of being, when I got undrafted, going out to San Francisco as a kid that no one knew who the hell was, played only a down of football or a year of football, didn't even play the position in college. Couldn't tell me anything different. I belonged on the field. And if you believe that, then you have that's all you need, right? The other thing that you need is opportunity. So listen, wherever it is for these young kids, if this opportunity didn't work out, then evaluate yourself, man. Be the toughest critic. Did I watch enough film? Did I do enough during the practice? Whatever it is, man, was like, did I shake everyone's hand that I came across? And did I look them directly? Like, I don't evaluate yourself from the second that you wake up to the second that you go to bed, and say, if you even question it for a second, then that's something that maybe you should look at again. And then when you get your next opportunity, just do it better. You know, there's a lot of good football players in this league, and you've gotten to this point. Like, I'm sure you might get another opportunity somewhere else. So be in your feelings for however long it is until you pack up your locker room. And the second you walk out the door, like, that's just done with. Like, we're over it. Moving on. Bring me the next opportunity. Go back to work. Stay in shape. Do what you got to do. And then make the next one count. You know, and then it's once you get your foot in the door. So here's my Efton Chism speech for you, my guy, is they're always going to be looking for a reason. Always. They are going to bring guys in throughout the year. They are going to bring guys in next year. If you falter or you don't have a good week or you don't have a good practice, like, they're always going to be looking for a reason. So don't give them one, you know. And that was me in Buffalo, man. I swear to God, after my first year, they drafted like 3 receivers, still made the team because I just didn't give them a reason. Just did all the right things and was there and always showed up and was accountable and was a guy that you just wow, we just can't get rid of him. Be like, yeah, you guys. Like, I'm staying. I'm here to stay.
Well, it's not even, look, it's not even, like, I always tell people, don't even get too comfortable after cuts come, because they make,
dude, every Tuesday, man.
they make 10 guys. They made 10 moves last year between final cuts, and the season opener. Yep. So even if you think you've made it, someone else gets cut from somewhere else that catches Elliott Wolf's eye. Yep. They're bringing him in to take care of it.
Never get comfortable, man. Can never get comfortable.
That's the thing. I'm curious. Vrabel said, he's talked about this before as a player, it really wasn't working for him in Pittsburgh, and he thought about law school. Did you ever have a fallback where you like, man, this is just not going to be my thing? You know, if football doesn't work, here's my plan B. What was your plan B at that stage of your life?
This is my favorite topic to talk about. I didn't have a plan B. There was no plan B for me. I was putting every single. Well, here I'll tell you. Here's my one story. I got cut. No. It was during the lockout, and wasn't really sure. I was still training. I went to some networking event with like my buddy, and it was it was at his family's restaurant, and it was a bunch of med sales and all like good jobs that I definitely could have seen myself pursuing. But I walked out of that thing saying like, nah, no thanks, bro. Like, I'm good. I probably left the restaurant and went back to training that night just because I was like, this is not for me. So I didn't have a plan B. I was all in on this, making it to the NFL. I didn't think about the CFL. I didn't think about Arena League. I didn't think about any of that. Like, my plan A, B, C, D, E was making it to the NFL in whichever way I got there. My path was windy and it took some turns and U-turns and 180s, but like at the end of the day, man, like that's that part of my story was something that is what made me who I am today as a football player, and it's part of my story that I really lean on. I toughened up, man. I grew some, you had to grit and gut and, cry and do all that, get through it. And I know that made me a better football player, going through all of that.
Chris Hogan, thank you very much, my friend. Take care, and we will talk again next week.
Looking forward to it.